It all starts on a miserable, run-down piece of land called Manor Farm. The animals there, well, they live a pretty tough life under a farmer named Mr. Jones. But then one night, something shifts. In the big barn, an old prize-winning boar, Old Major, he shares this strange and powerful dream he had, a vision that's about to light a fire.
And that right there, that's the spark. Old Major's idea, this vision of a world run by animals for animals, it just takes hold. It plants a seed, and pretty soon they get their chance. They drive Jones out, and in a moment of pure triumph, Manor Farm is renamed Animal Farm. It really seems like the dream of freedom has finally begun.
So in those first, heady days of freedom, everything feels possible. The pigs, who everyone agrees are the cleverest animals, they step up to lead. You've got the brilliant Snowball and the imposing Napoleon. And together, they lay down the fundamental principles of their new society, which they call animalism.
They paint these 7 laws in huge white letters on the side of the barn. This is supposed to be it, the unchangeable foundation of their perfect society. A promise that things will be different now. But even right here, in this moment of pure hope, the very first crack begins to show.
When the other animals start asking questions, like, hey, wait a minute, they send in a pig named Squealer to smooth things over, and he's a master of spin. He doesn't say the pigs are better. Oh no, he frames it like a huge sacrifice. The pigs are the brain workers, you see, and they just need this extra food for the good of the farm. And then he plays the trump card, the one thing nobody can argue with. You don't want Jones to come back, do you? And just like that, the conversation is over. So pretty quickly, the farm splits into 2 camps. On one side, you've got Snowball. He's the visionary, the idealist, the one with big plans, like building a windmill to make life easier for everyone. And on the other side, you've got Napoleon. He's quiet, brooding, and he is not interested in debates, he's interested in power. And this rivalry is about to explode. It happens so fast. During one of Snowball's big speeches, Napoleon lets out this strange, high-pitched whimper. It's a signal. And suddenly, these 9 gigantic dogs, the puppies he took away to educate, they burst into the barn and go straight for Snowball. It is a brutal, terrifying coup. Snowball barely escapes with his life. And with that single act of violence, Napoleon takes total control. All debates are officially canceled. Now, this is the really critical part. How do the other animals react? Take Boxer, the workhorse. He is the strongest, most loyal animal on the farm. He feels like something is wrong, but he can't quite find the right words to argue. So instead of trusting his own gut, he adopts this simple, heartbreaking motto. Thinking is replaced with blind obedience. And that faith is exactly what allows this new tyranny to take root.
And from there, the betrayal just spirals into an absolute nightmare. Napoleon calls a meeting. He forces 4 other pigs to confess to made-up crimes, saying they were secretly working with Snowball. And then his dogs immediately tear their throats out, right in front of everybody. This goes on, with a pile of bodies growing at Napoleon's feet, until the whole farm just stinks of blood.
We see this horror through the eyes of Clover, the gentle cart horse. And you just feel this profound sense of heartbreak. This was not the dream. This wasn't the freedom they all fought and bled for. The commandment, no animal shall kill any other animal, has been completely shattered, and with it, the very soul of the revolution.
But brute force will only get you so far. The regime's most effective weapon, its ultimate tool of control, turns out to be the slow, systematic destruction of truth itself, the twisting of language, and the complete erasure of memory.
So, when the pigs start moving into the farmhouse, sleeping in actual beds, Clover is certain she remembers a rule against it. But when she asks someone to read the barn wall for her, well, 2 extra words have somehow appeared. Turns out, the law was never broken. Their memory was just wrong. Squealer, of course, is quick to explain that the rule was only ever against cheats, which are a human invention, you see.
And this is the method, right here. It's brilliant in a terrifying way. After the bloody executions, the same thing happens. The animals are sure a law was broken. But a quick check of the barn wall shows another little addition. The rule always had an exception, apparently. The slaughter was totally justified, and at this point, who's sure enough of their own mind to argue? The unalterable law can be altered anytime.
And then comes the final blow, the most symbolic one of all. Beasts of England, the song that started it all, the anthem that held all their hopes and dreams, it's banned. Squealer announces that the rebellion is complete, so the song is no longer needed.
But what they're really doing is silencing the memory of the dream itself.
So, it's pretty obvious that Animal Farm is way more than just a story about talking animals. It's this timeless, chilling look at how even the purest ideals of a revolution can be completely eaten from the inside out by a simple hunger for power.
What the book really gives us is a blueprint for how tyranny happens. First, Napoleon takes the puppies for education. That's step one. Then, Squealer is constantly changing the story, rewriting history, blaming every single problem on the traitor Snowball. That's step 2 and 3. Complex ideas get boiled down to mindless slogans, like boxers. And in the end, the truth is just whatever Napoleon says it is today.
You know, the real tragedy of Animal Farm is the story of animals like Boxer and Clover. They were good, they were loyal, they worked harder than anyone. But they didn't have the words, or maybe the confidence, to challenge the lies they were being fed. They felt in their bones that something was deeply wrong, but they couldn't fight back. And the warning here is just so clear. A population that can't think for itself, that doesn't remember what it was promised, is completely defenseless.
Because in the end, the pigs didn't just seize the farm, they seized reality itself. And that is the final devastating lesson of Animal Farm.